For all who comes to this goofy place, welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode, and not just another episode. We have another season 2, Gray. Are you excited?
Woo!
I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
We told him we were going to be back.
Here we
told
are.
him.
We're back.
Here we are, season 2, episode 1. And Gray doesn't even really know what I'm going to be talking about today. I kind of gave him an idea of what we're going to be talking about, which is going to be hidden gems or like hidden things that you can find around Disney World. I think more so specifically Magic Kingdom, because I'm looking at a list. Well, it's actually not even specifically Magic Kingdom. It is actually just Disney World as a whole. And I'm going to go ahead and shout out to the Disney Food Blog, I'd like to think a reliable source, right? But yeah, so Gray, basically what we're going to be talking about on this very first episode back here for season 2 on the Goofy Scoop podcast. It's going to be 18 Disney World secrets even locals don't know.
All right.
So
we were locals for a while.
I was about to say, and
call us locals. I feel like we were locals.
Yeah, I was a local for 8 to 9 months. I mean, I didn't like get to switch my license or my license plate to be a Floridian, but I'd like to think that we were locals for at least 6 months to 8 months, right?
I felt local.
Yeah.
At least after the first month, I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly where I am.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get off of work and go ride Haunted Mansion and just go straight back home, I'd like to think that that'd be local.
Quality time. Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started, right?
Yep, I'm ready.
Number 1, the screams you hear near Tower of Terror are recorded.
I knew that, actually.
I didn't know that.
I did know that. Yeah, because if you you're following 13 stories and yeah, there are people screaming, but there's not going to be people screaming terrifyingly like death every single time. Yeah.
So which makes sense. Yeah. So even the description says, when you're standing on Sunset Boulevard, gazing up at the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, you probably hear your fair shares of scream. Hey, that drop is no joke, but still not all the screams you hear are real. So
I wonder how many
Go ahead.
I wonder how many different types of screams there are in the recordings. How long would you have to stand there to hear all the types of screams? Or is there just the simple one scream and they just play it over and over again?
I was about to say, is it like a sitcom where it's they say a crappy joke and it's you just hear, oh. You know what I mean? Is it the same one over and over?
I feel like it can't be the same one over and over again, because then people would lead on to
I was about to say, because I've never caught on to it, and I've sat and people watched on Sunset Boulevard multiple times, and I've never caught on to it. So it has to be a good variety.
I just know a lot of fun facts, so I'm hoping that I was about to say.
I thought I was going to stump you with that one when I was kind of scrolling through these and kind of getting an idea.
Nope.
But yeah, so it actually says Disney actually plays a recording of screams to make the Hollywood Tower of Terror Hotel more intimidating. Listen closely, and you might notice that they sound the same every once in a while. So they don't exactly give a full number or an actual complete number of how many different recordings that they have, but it sounds like it's a small enough of a number to catch it, I guess. So I'm gonna have to pay attention on my next vacation, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So are you ready for number 2, Gray?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay. So number 2, the bathrooms in Liberty Tree Tavern and Columbia Harbor House are so far back that they're technically in other lands, which means that's keeping the no bathroom theme in Liberty Square. And I'm guessing you knew that one as well, by the way.
I also knew that. No, because there's no bathrooms in Liberty Square. That's the whole thing with the poop river that goes down the center of it.
Am I even a Disney fan? Because I didn't know the first one and now the second one.
Y'all, I'm going to take over because Jeff doesn't actually know anything about Disney.
Hey,
you knew the poop river existed, right? You knew that's what the brown.
I knew the little brown trail is supposed to represent the sewer.
The reason that's there is because there's no bathrooms in Liberty Square. That's what they have in
really
Poop River.
Think about it. I don't think I've ever had the feeling of going number 1 or number 2 through Liberty Square. If we're going to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever had to go.
You can't go because they don't have bathrooms.
Yeah, just subconsciously just don't have to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But okay, so the description for that says real quick for everybody listening, and Gray yourself, because you didn't know exactly what they're saying on the Disney food blog.
That's true. I have not read the Disney food blog or this article at least.
So lots of folks know that Liberty Square in Magic Kingdom doesn't feature any bathrooms. This is for the historical accuracy, since plumbing wasn't a thing yet in the historical time period the area is based on, which makes sense, like you just said, with what we're going to call the poo-poo trail or the poop trail, whatever you called it.
The poop river.
Poop river. There you go.
The river of poops.
It's flown. Watch your step. Okay, so the rest of the description says, but what you might not know is that the bathrooms in Liberty Tree Tavern and Columbia Harbor House are far enough back in the buildings that they're technically in other lands. So, I mean, that's just like what it said for number 2 in general. So I just wonder, I don't know exactly where the bathrooms would be, though. I mean, would it technically be what, Main Street USA or?
No, I think it's Fantasyland. Because like
one of those
Liberty
two.
Tree Tavern sits, if you're looking back towards the castle, it sits on the left.
Yeah.
And the bathrooms are like the far left. So I think it's technically Fantasyland.
Yeah, I was about to say it's got to be Fantasyland, especially yeah, it's got to be Fantasyland because of Harbor House right over there. Because Harbor House, man, I can't talk today. Because Harbor House is like right across from Haunted Mansion. Like you have to walk in between the two to go to Fantasyland.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Okay. All right, let's see if you know number 3, Gray.
Probably.
Number 3. Imagineers might have glued pickled sausages down in Tower of Terror.
Yeah, I did not know that. And
Okay,
I have no idea what that means.
There we go. Because I didn't know that one either.
No idea what that means.
Okay, so the description says, we've got another Tower of Terror fact for you. There just might be a real jar of pickled sausages tucked away amongst the theming. The story goes that while the Imagineers were working on the attraction, one brought the jar of pickled sausages to a pal as a prank gift. Well, what happens when you leave your pickled sausages in an attraction overnight and the glued crew comes to glue everything down? Oh, okay. So that it was actually like an accident. And it says that the jars get cemented in place for all time. Take a look to your left in the photo pass window and you might just spot the jar in question. That is actually really cool.
I don't like pickled sausages. I don't like pickled anything, actually.
I don't think I've ever had pickled sausages.
So I understand that this is a joke because I don't think anybody wants to eat that. So yeah, that's really interesting. Why I kind of want to know the conversation that was had before someone brought the pickled sausages.
Yeah, I want to.
You know, like
what made that like a perfect prank gift? Because pickled sausages has never came across my mind. It's like I'm gonna get Gray back today, pretty good.
In what context are you like, oh, I should probably bring them some pickled sausages?
There's no telling. I just think it's funny though, because it's not like they did it on purpose. At first, I was like, okay, they just glued some pickled sausages down in the Tower of Terror when they
see when you first said it. When you first said it, I was thinking individual sausages, not like a jar of sausages. I was thinking there's like random sausages like stuck to the wall in different places, but you can't see it because the ride's a dark ride. That was like what happened in my head. But
yeah, I didn't think about that. That's kind of interesting. But it's kind of funny though that it was a prank gift, and then they accidentally left it behind, and then the glue crew, or what they call them, the glue crew came back and glued everything down.
What a fun name, the glue crew.
The glue crew. All right, interesting one.
All right, number 4. Let's go.
Let's stay pumped, Gray. Come on. Yeah, I was about to say you were doing good there for a second. All right, number 4. Joffrey's Donuts are actually from a local shop called Donut King.
I feel like I've heard this before, but I'm not going to say that I knew it.
I mean,
if somebody asked me about it, I would be like, I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, it's not one of those where, I mean, it doesn't like surprise me or like wow me or even disappoint me. It's just like business wise, yeah, it just makes sense. Like you can't rely on Disney to do everything. So I mean, why would you not pull?
That's
from
why they have Joffrey's.
Exactly.
Because Disney can't do everything, so they brought
Joffrey's. Okay, so the description on this one says, have you ever found yourself drooling at the case of donuts at a Joffrey's coffee and tea kiosk or the locations in Disney Springs? We don't blame you. Well, we have a secret that is not only little known for locals, but is also very important info. Those donuts actually come from a local bakery called Donut King. If you look carefully, you might even spot Donut King boxes near the Joffrey's locations when these spots get some fresh items.
So and where's Donut King located?
I was about to say, I'm glad you asked because very next, or the next thing, you can find locations in Mineola, Winter Park, and Leesburg. And this says, yep, Jeffrey's. I'm Jeffrey. We're talking about Joffrey. Okay, so Joffrey's Donuts without ever stepping foot in Disney World, which I would rather have a Joffrey's donut or a Donut King donut in Disney World. But thank you.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. So it looks like, well, if you want to accept that challenge, we're going to Mineola, Winter Park, or Leesburg. So let's pack our stuff. Great. Let's go.
Or one of each to compare, you know? Why not?
Yeah, let's see which one's better. Okay, so you thought you kind of knew that one or like heard that one before?
I feel like I've like heard it, but I'm gonna count it as a no. So 2 for 2, 50%.
Okay. We'll give it to you.
A solid free throw record.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and number 5, cinco for us Spanish speakers.
De Mayo.
Is to what?
Nothing.
It's gonna be number 5. Pirates of the Caribbean might be haunted by a mischievous ghost by what name do you think?
Oh no.
It's so simple.
What's it start with?
I feel like if I say it, it's going to be too easy because there's only like 2 names that I know off that. Well, maybe 5, but 2, like it starts with a G.
A lot. Is it Gray?
Okay, your name's not very common. This is like a common name.
Is it Goofy?
No, nice try. But it's
Greg,
George.
Gary,
like
John,
George
with a G. Oh, George.
Yeah, okay. Super simple.
Yeah.
Okay, but the description on here says when you're in Magic Kingdom, you probably head for Haunted Mansion when you're looking for ghosts. Sure, those grim grinning ghosts are Scream. And man, why did they have to add so much pizzazz to these sentences for someone so illiterate?
It's okay.
Like
you can just give us the gist. You don't have to read it word for word.
Girl. Okay, but did you know? But did you know there might be a real ghost in Magic Kingdom, which I did not know about George at all by any means.
Of the jungle.
Okay, so it says apparently if cast members don't say good morning and good night to George, the attraction will have problems.
I guess
this is where the mischievous ghost by the name of George has came into play. You have to say good morning and good night in Pirates of the Caribbean. Which I didn't know that.
I did know this.
Kind of a cool touch.
I did know this, but I didn't remember it until you said it, and then I was like, "Oh yes, I've heard this before."
Is that just because you're trying to go for 3 for 2?
No. I actually have heard this before because I have been on that ride early in the morning before, and cast members have been like, "Say hi to George."
Who picked the name George?
Maybe he said George.
Yeah, maybe he just told him his name was George. But I mean, if somebody had to have picked that name for the ghost, though, like you had to pick George. Like, could you not pick something a little bit more piratey?
Yeah, like Casper.
Like I would have just, I mean, Casper's not even that bad. But I mean, why would? I mean, come on, like the Flying Dutchman or like they just scallywag.
No, that's lame. No, but like you can't. You gotta have like a. I don't know. I feel like a normal name is better.
You think so?
Yeah.
It just like humbles the ghost a little bit.
Because if you like make it a huge thing and you're like, oh, it's a ghost, people aren't gonna ride the ride.
Yeah, watch out for the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, like
huh. Okay, so interesting.
Or people will think it's fake, you know, like
yeah, true. And then meanwhile, in the Haunted Mansion, all the ghosts are real.
Obviously.
Okay, so that makes you 3 for 2. That makes me
3 for 2.
That makes me what? 0 for 5.
Wow,
I suck.
Maybe you'll get the next 5.
Let's hope, because it looks like I'm not getting number 6. Okay, so number 6. So you might have to help me. The cherubs. In the cherubs, I'm just gonna say cherubs. I should have studied this a little bit more. The cherubs in Be Our Guest have the faces of Imagineers and their children. So I'm guessing it is the angels on the ceiling in the Be Our Guest restaurant. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced cherubs. I don't want to get stuck on an English exam here on the Goofy Scoop, but
how do you spell cherubs?
It's going to be CHERUBS for Gray and everybody else interested.
A winged angelic being described in biblical tradition as attending on God. So, yes, angels. That does make sense.
Yes.
By the way, this dictionary definition comes from Oxford Dictionary.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Oxford.
What did they say about the comma?
Not sponsored. That's a weird question. That's
Give me
a
an
different
Oxford
topic
comma.
for a different day. Yeah. But
yeah, so apparently it's the faces of the Imagineers and their children, which is actually I want to say that I've heard something kind of like this. Maybe I'm just making that up to try to get some points. Maybe I didn't know it all.
yeah,
But
I'm like, maybe I knew this one, but I'm gonna say no. So then it's just fair because I don't want to sound like I'm making anything up. So that gives me 3 for 3. But that is kind of cool.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe I've heard something similar, just in maybe a different location inside Disney World with some faces, or maybe the names and namings of locations in Disney parks.
Could you imagine being and be our guests and you're like eating dinner with your kids? And your kids are like, Mom, what did you look like as a child? And you're just like point up to the ceiling.
As I say, you just look at her straight face and just point.
Like, oh, there it is right there.
Like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, look up. I'm on the children.
What a life that must be, right? You could like go to be our guest at Disney World and your face is like on the ceiling.
Would you rather? Okay, so good question, real quick, before going to number 7. Would you rather have your face somewhere in a Disney park or your voice?
Ooh.
Not to get too much off topic, but
I'm gonna say
that popped in my head.
That's a good question. I'm gonna say voice because voices in Disney are more recognized than faces in Disney.
I like that. And
because there's so many like I feel like there's so many pictures everywhere in Disney that like it's somebody, but it's a picture on a wall in the middle of a Casey's Corner. Like I don't remember what it is. Like everyone knows what the People Mover sounds like. Everyone knows what the Soarin' intro sounds like. Like I just feel like Disney sounds are more recognizable than faces.
True. Which and it does remind me as well, because my time as a cast member, one of my coworkers, her name was Mary Charles, and her picture is actually still up in Celebrity Five and Dime. I'm pretty sure it's still up. I haven't been to Disney World, I guess in 6-7 months now.
Did she hang it up herself?
No. So she actually, when we were working there as college programmees, she sold the most Disney bags, recyclable bags or reusable bags. So she got to take a picture. They put it black and white. They put it in a frame, and then they put it up top above the registers in Celebrity Five and Dime. So, fun fact: if you guys are going to Hollywood Studios anytime soon after listening to this episode, go see if Mary Charles is still up there, because I'm not exactly 100%. But I thought that was so cool when they did that.
Shout out Mary Charles. We hope she's still up there. She deserves it.
I was going to say that's the only face I ever pay attention to. Like if I go to the park.
Yeah, but it's because you know the backstory.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I think I'm gonna have to agree with you with the voice, because even with voices, 9 times out of 10, people are going to listen to you and have to listen to you either for instructions or for a nighttime show or something of somewhat importance. It's not just a random face. So I guess that was almost kind of a dumb question for us.
Welcome to Disney.
Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm 0 for 6 and you're 3 for 3.
Heyo, time for number 7.
Heyo, not very good on my tests. Okay, so number 7, Joe Road.
I know him.
I was going to say, yeah, you got to know him. I forgot his name last season, and I was so upset with myself.
Yeah,
that guy's got bling bling on the earring. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, it's so that's a different. That's like a whole huge ear. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so number 7, Joe Road and others left their literal handprints on Flight of Passage, which I think is really cool. I knew this as well. Okay, so yeah, because like when I heard about Avatar and all that stuff, I just did like a bunch of research and I just learned as much as I could, and sadly didn't leave a whole lot of like surprises to myself when I went to go visit the world of Avatar for the first time. I just like tried to learn as much as I could. So I did know about this one. But let me go ahead and read the description real quick, and then we can chat about it and how you knew it and whatnot. So it says, many of Disney fans have had a blast joining up with a Na'vi avatar and cruising along on a Banshee through the Morara Valley. And then, Flight of Passage. That's what it's called. Everybody should know this by now. I think it's probably the best ride on Disney property, for being real. Anyway, so in the queue for this attraction, you'll spot lots of human and Na'vi handprints, but a few are especially notable. In the exit corridor, look for the 3 handprints marked with initials. These are the handprints and initials of Imagineer Joe Road, which we know him, James Cameron, the film director for the Avatar movie, and then John I'm going to say Lando, and it's the film co-producer. So that's actually really cool because I knew that it was Joe Road and James Cameron. I don't know the other guy. I don't know John Lando, the other guy.
I probably read his name in some credits somewhere, but
yeah. So I just remember hearing that fact and knowing that it was one of the Imagineers, Joe Road. But I want to say that I didn't even really know there was James Cameron and then the other guy, which I feel like I'm crapping on the other guy because I'm like, yeah, the other guy, James Cameron and the other guy. But no,
fun. He's probably a billionaire.
Yeah, dude, Joe Road killed Animal Kingdom.
He kills everything. Everything that man puts his hands on, fantastic.
Oh, 100%.
All of it.
And I was wigging out one time too because I remember they were like, "Yeah, Joe Road's backstage. He's in Ops 2 right now."
You're like, "What? Let me go. I'm taking my
like,
15."
Yeah, I was like, "Joe Road, Ops 2 right now." But no, that was a pretty cool day. But yeah, that was. So I guess I'm on the board. I guess I'm one for six. Yeah. Okay, moving on to number 8, Gray.
All right.
I didn't know this one. I learned this one today. Expedition Everest is one giant hidden Mickey.
I need the explanation of this.
So it's from an aerial viewpoint, of course.
I have to look up a map. Can you see it on the My Disney Experience app? Probably not.
That's a good question. I don't think it's like 100% above the actual park. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it from that. I think it's almost at like a 45-degree angle on Disney Maps. At least in the app, it is.
So should I open Google Earth instead?
Open Google Earth, great. Pull it up. But yeah, so it says there are hidden Mickeys all over Disney World, which of course we know this. And if you don't, you got to look it up. It's super cool. But it says there's an estimated to be over 1,000 hidden Mickeys across the resort as a whole. Some of those Mickeys are bigger than others, which of course, because I mean, Mount Everest is a huge hidden Mickey as a whole. But it says you've probably never spotted a huge hidden Mickey in Disney's Animal Kingdom because it's actually the whole mountain at Expedition Everest, which is one of those where it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. That's a hidden Mickey. But for the most part, like you're not going to see that unless you're flying over it or doing what Gray is doing right now and Google mapping it basically. Because they have a huge hidden Mickey at Hollywood Studios from an aerial point too. But nobody's really going to know that unless they just dig deep and do a little bit of research like what we do.
Okay, what the one at Hollywood Studios you can see on My Disney Experience. You can see it on there.
But you can't see Everest.
Well, I don't know. I'm pulling up the app right now.
Oh, okay.
However, I am currently looking at Google Earth and I can see the hidden Mickey and I do see what they're talking about. I feel like it's not like a solid capture. Like, I guess if you like look at it, you're like, I guess that could be a hidden Mickey. But unless you said that, like, I would never be like, oh, look, a hidden Mickey.
Yeah, I get that.
But the mountain itself is his head, and then the tracks go in circles.
Mm-hmm.
The ears.
Yeah, because I guess one of them is like when you're going to get on the part where you're going up into the mountain, it's like kind of loops around. That makes the right ear. Technically, if you're looking at it, it's the right ear, and then the one after you go down the mountain, it's the left ear.
If you like know you're looking for it on the My Disney Experience app, you can kind of see it, but on the My Disney Experience app, the ears would be like really sideways, not like at the top of Mickey's head like it normally is. But like I could see it. I would say I didn't know that one, but
they had to work with what they had.
You know,
I wonder if it was like from the beginning, like as soon as the project was like, all right, you guys have the green light, go. I wonder if they knew that they were going to do a hidden Mickey, or they were just like, oh, that's really close to a hidden Mickey. Can we go ahead and change plans? Like
they probably like did the mountain and then like one side of the track, and they're like, wait, that looks like an ear. Let's change the track on this side so we can have 2 ears.
Be interesting to kind of know that stuff. Like I would love to sit down with Joe Road, like legitly, and just Animal Kingdom is my least favorite park. I would still love to pick his brain about Animal Kingdom because he did such an amazing job. You know?
Animal Kingdom is my third favorite park. So
I was gonna say, yeah, I guess just as a reminder, we need to let the people know what our parks are. I always call
there's
it
an episode before this one in season 1. We go over it. You can go listen to it.
No, I'm not going to list it off right now. Animal Kingdom is a glorified zoo. That's all you got to know about how Jeffrey feels.
Next, 4 for 4.
Okay, so number 9.
Here we go.
Get ready, Gray. Number 9. Okay, so the two brothers in American Adventure are based on two Imagineers.
I knew this.
Oh, I haven't even been in the American Adventure in a very long time. I have no idea what they're talking about.
It's like a video thing, right? The one at Epcot. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the one in the American Pavilion with the American Adventure. It's just a video.
Yeah. Kinda. There's like a couple of like things. It's basically.
Okay, so let's figure out how it's the two brothers are based on two Imagineers real quick. So it says Epcot has some awesome shows, and some of the more impressive ones from robotics front are at the American Adventure and the American Adventure Pavilion. Surely you felt your jaw drop watching the Ben Franklin animatronic walk upstairs. It's been so long, I don't even remember Ben Franklin walking up some stairs.
I don't remember that at all. No.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been a very, very long time. Didn't even go in it on my program. So, anyway, so the rest of it says one secret you might not know is that the two brothers in the song Two Brothers are based on the likeness of two Imagineers, John Olson and Jeff Burke. The second guy's got a really good name. But yeah, John Olson and Jeff Burke, two Imagineers.
All right.
Didn't know that one. So I'm like 1-8.
Jeff has a terribly losing record. Jeff, you can only get one more wrong, and then you're gonna have a losing record of the whole thing. So
I was about to say one more wrong, and why is the Goofy Scoop under my name? Okay, so number 10. Next. Let's try to redeem myself. Okay, so number 10, the hyenas and African dogs take turns on Kilimanjaro safaris, which I did know this.
I did not know this because I've never seen the hyenas. I've only ever seen the dogs.
Really?
Yes. And I've been on that ride so many times.
See, so I was going to say, because you really, really, really like Kilimanjaro safaris.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I went on that ride all the time. I never saw hyenas, only the dogs.
I was going to say, I remember one time where I don't remember if the cast member mentioned it. I just remember learning it somehow. I remember just going on there one time and I was like, okay, there's wild dogs. And then I like went another time and it was like hyenas. And I was like, this is where the wild dogs were. So did they mess that up and say hyenas when they meant to say wild dogs?
No, because if there was hyenas, then I mean, you can obviously tell the difference between the hyenas and the dogs. Like they don't look the same.
Yeah, hyenas are built weird.
Yeah. But I feel like if I saw the hyenas, the hyenas, wow,
the hyenas.
I don't even know what I said. The hyenas, I would make a joke about the Lion King of like Ed and like just being like dumb. Yeah. And I don't remember ever doing that. So
I was about to say, like, wow. So I knew one that Gray didn't know.
You knew one that I didn't, but that's okay. I'm still winning 5.
Yeah.
Say I'm 2 points that I've
2-8, 2-8. Let's go. All right. So number 11, Gray. The differing colors of the pavement on Main Street are there for a reason. Did we know this?
I did know this. We know this.
I was going to say, I knew this as well. Okay, so when you're walking down Main Street, USA in the Magic Kingdom, you've probably got
singing
your eyes...
Diddy dum diddy do.
You could be singing that if you want to. You just threw me off so bad.
That's the point, Jeff. That's why I'm here. You guys, actually, this is Jeff's podcast, and he invited me to join this just so I could like throw in random content at no, like
your co-host,
my opinion doesn't
buddy.
matter.
No, your co-host, buddy.
Throw noises out there.
Okay, so let me backtrack just a little bit. So when you're walking down Main Street, USA in Magic Kingdom, you probably got your eyes up to looking at Cinderella Castle, which of course she's gorgeous. The amazing theming, the different shops, characters, or performers like the Dapper Dans and Main Street Philharmonic. I almost said Philharmagic. But they say try looking down next time. You'll notice that the pavement has different colors. The part of the reason for this, or so some have said, is to have helped guide guests and basically alert them that there's difference in height there for the areas where there's a step or elevated sidewalk, so as to hopefully stop them from tripping to a certain extent. Well, Disney World, actually go ahead and do a huge favor for me and paint the trolley rails like bright yellow, because I snapped my cankles on that at least once a trip.
I've turned my ankles so many times in those things.
Yep.
They don't even use them hardly. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I'm very surprised that, because I guess really the only time I've seen them actually use it is when they have the good morning like main, like, I was about to say the middle of Main Street. I don't even know what that's called, but I guess that's like really the only time I've seen it, because they're all on the cart that the horses is pulling. Really the only time I've ever seen it used. Other than that, I think it's just so, I mean, maybe for Disney to sell some ankle supports or something. I don't know. Get a little bit more money out of us.
That'd be funny. Do they sell those?
I don't know. If it was wrapped in Mickey ears, I'd probably buy it.
True.
But yeah, those, oh, dude, those dang rails. Always snapping kanks on that.
Hate those things.
But yeah, so you didn't know that, or you did know that?
I did know that.
Okay, good. So we both knew that
6 to 5.
And also a little fun fact also to add in there as well. Did you know that it is elevated going towards the castle?
Yes, it's a hill. Yep.
I was about to say, because at the end of the day, they also wanted to think about the guests and how tired guests were at the end of the day. So they wanted to make it a little bit easier for us to be walking out of Magic Kingdom, which is actually a really cool hidden thought that they had.
Thanks, Walt. Appreciate it.
Walt, you're a gem. But okay, so are you ready for number 12, Gray? Before you start falling asleep?
Ready.
Okay, so cast members shoot raisins out of the cannons for the gorillas in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Didn't know this.
That's cool. I didn't know that either.
Is it even possible to be able to see this? I mean, if it's not on stage, how are we supposed to see it? You know, how are we?
You can't. But it's just a fun fact. We just have to trust Disney Food Blog.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool that they do that. Hopefully, it's not at a very fast FPS, but
gorillas like raisins, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say just accidentally dome one of them in the side of the head, and they're like, "Huh?"
With a raisin? Come on, Jeff. With a raisin?
I'm not saying it's not gonna knock the grill out, but it's probably just gonna be like, seriously, what was that for?
What the
yeah. Okay, so it says if you spend some time in Disney's Animal Kingdom, you may have spotted cast members feeding animals or performing training and enrichment activities. Did you know that one of the enrichment activities for the gorillas on Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail involves shooting raisins out of cannons for the gorillas to catch? If that was a thing and we're actually able to do it, I did not know that. So that's actually really, really cool. That makes
I don't walk over to the gorillas very often. They're kind of off the beaten path at the end of Kilimanjaro safaris.
Very true. Yeah. So I feel like it's one of those things where, I mean, I would do it pretty often, because usually if I did go to Animal Kingdom, my sister was involved because she loves Animal Kingdom. She'd always want to go down that trail. But so we would usually go. If it was up to me and I was just by myself or with a different friend group, I'm not going.
Yeah. I didn't go that much.
But yeah. So all right. Moving on to number 13, Gray.
Lucky number 13.
13. There's a cast member only barbershop and Subway under the Magic Kingdom, which we knew this. Right? You knew that?
We know this. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So for the people that did not know this, I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of the description. So most Disney fans have heard about the tunnels that run under Magic Kingdom, which is in fact very true. But if you've been on some behind the scene tours, you might even stepped foot in the famous utilidors, which that is the tunnels underneath Magic Kingdom.
Secret tunnel.
Utilidor. Okay, so, but did you know that these tunnels also hold a cast member only barber shop and Subway sandwich store? You can even see the Subway on Google Maps, which I didn't know that. I didn't know you could see Subway on Google Maps.
I did know that.
I wonder why they have to do that. Legal reasons? Subway reasons?
Probably.
I bet it throws so many people off.
The nearest Subway to me right here.
Yeah. 5 miles.
Type.
It's hey honey, it's showing that the nearest Subway is 20 feet under Space Mountain. Like what? Okay. So I knew that. You knew that. It's kind of, if you're a cast member, you kind of know that.
We all know this.
Okay, so number 14, the piano player in Haunted Mansion is silently playing Grim Grinning Ghost. I did not know that, and I love
silently playing.
Yeah, because you know how you can't actually hear the piano; you just see the shadow of him just being very aggressively pounding the piano with his hands. Yeah, so apparently he's silently playing the Grim Grinning Ghost. Which, how do you know that? Because it's not like you can actually like see him. He's just like slapping his hands.
Honestly, if musicians who like play the piano went and looked, they could be like, "Oh yeah, I know that song." But I'll trust it. Again, it's Disney Food Blog. We love them.
Very true, very true. Blog. Once again, shout out to DisneyFoodBlog.com.
Thank you. Amazing thing that we're reading. Blog post. I'm really tired, guys.
I was about to say, yeah.
Gray, I got zero sleep the past couple
I was about to say, so yeah, really this tired. I'm gonna go ahead and let them know a little bit, Gray, right? A little bit of your information, nothing too bad, right? But Gray actually has a job with the radio station. He luckily doesn't have to, luckily for me, I should say, for this episode, he doesn't have to wake up at what time do you wake up?
I normally get up like 3:30, 3:45, somewhere in there.
Yeah. In the morning, guys, not PM. This is AM. Ridiculous. This is usually when I'm going to bed. And so anyway, he works for radio, which shout out to who? I mean, which
it's a radio station in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, super cool. He's actually showed our friend group some at least one bit, and I thought it was really cool. It was very cool to hear Gray's voice on the actual radio instead of this podcast. But yeah, so that's why Gray is super tired today and probably going to be super tired several more times within this season. So don't think that Gray doesn't want to be here. It is just actually taking him a lot of energy to be here.
Right. I just want to go to bed.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to number 15 before Gray does take a nap.
Only a few more left. I still have a winning record.
Yeah, 50%. There's no way I'm going to come back now.
7-7. I'm at 50%. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I, like 3-9 or something like that?
Something like that.
3-11, I think. Okay, so number 15, the flight you take on Soarin', flight 5505, is a reference to the ride's Disney World opening date. I did not know this, so make it 3-12.
I think I knew this, but we can go ahead and say I didn't know this.
7-8. Let's go. You're now in the negative numbers.
No, this is my first losing record.
Grab a paddle because you're in the same boat as I am. Okay, so it says when you're getting on Soarin' around the world or its predecessor soaring over California, we're usually focused on our favorite parts of the ride, the smells, the sights, and our beloved Patrick Warburton pre-show.
Love it.
Gotta love Patrick. Okay, so it also says we might not think too much about the flight number of our supposed vehicle. Well, the flight number, flight 5505, is actually a reference to the attraction's original Disney World opening date, May 5th, 2005. Which Disney does a lot of stuff like that.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember them saying the flight number in anything.
I don't either. If anything, I just kind of remember like once we had the seatbelts on and everything, and as soon as the cast member gives the, like the actual cast member controlling the ride, I just remember hearing Patrick kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? But I don't remember hearing like flight 5505 or anything.
I'm going to have to watch a ride through on YouTube and figure it out.
Yeah, I might have to do the same thing.
Really closely.
I love the intro. Hello and welcome to Soarin'. My name's Patrick. I'll be your chief flight attendant today.
Gets better every
you ready
time.
for number? You ready for number 16? Good
16. I'm gonna bring myself back right here. Come on.
Are you gotta even out at 8-8?
Yep.
Okay, so number 16. Trash travels under Disney World through pipes at 60 miles an hour. I knew this.
We knew this. They talk about this in traditions when you do
yep.
a tour.
I was gonna say because they almost kind of give us like a little bit of fun facts here and there with traditions. Yeah. So I do remember hearing that.
Yep.
But it says in many parts of Disney World, trash is managed in a system that shoots waste through pipes at speeds of up to 60 miles an hour. Whoa! Talk about garbage man.
Wowie kapowie.
That's about as corny
so
as,
fast
as the Green Zone Andy guy. Whoa! Talk about garbage management.
Don't lift that box any higher.
I thought it was just at Magic Kingdom I think that's the only park that has that system in it.
Yeah, because they didn't build under anything else.
Yeah, I was about to say. So it says in many parts of Disney World. No, I'm gonna
No,
go
just Magic
ahead.
Kingdom.
I'm gonna go ahead and question Disney Food Blog here and say I think it's just Magic Kingdom.
In many parts of Disney World, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Adventureland,
In all the lands.
Frontierland,
In all the lands found around Disney World. You
all the
can find
lands
trash.
except for Dino Land USA.
What?
Our favorite of all the lands.
Maybe for the pizza.
Right down the middle of Dino Land USA.
For the frozen pizza. Okay, so I knew that, so I'm like, what? 4-8.
Doesn't matter. You're at a losing record. It matters for me. We're back at 50%, baby. Come on. We want a winning
oh my god,
record.
I'm way worse than that. Why do I keep saying such a low number for my losses? I'm like 4-12. Okay, so number 17, Gray. You got two.
Here we go.
There was a whole Mickey forest near Disney World.
I don't even know what that means.
I didn't know this was a thing either. I'm guessing they maybe created a forest for Disney World. That way they could pull trees from it for.
Like in the shape of a Mickey? What is a Mickey forest?
It is in the shape of a Mickey here on my phone. But it says we've got another big hidden Mickey for you. Northwest of Disney World is a forest that's planted in the shape of a perfect Mickey Mouse. And I will say it is a perfect Mickey.
We're gonna Google it.
It's aptly called Mickey Mouse Forest. In the early 1990s, hundreds of volunteers came together to help plant the trees. Pretty neat, man. But okay, so it says based on some updated images searched on Google Maps in 2022, it looks like many of the trees have been cleared away from this area. But I mean, you still see the Mickey though. I wonder what the whole reason. They don't exactly give a reason here on Disney Food Blog. But I'd like to think that. I mean, I guess it was done for either two reasons. They're using the trees to put inside the parks just in case something happens, or I mean, maybe something for. I don't know. Maybe to keep the earth green. I don't know.
Or they're knocking them all down and gonna build apartments that are gonna charge you $1 billion a day to stay in.
No, they already knocked those down.
Oh, okay.
They already had those. R.I.P. Vista Way.
R.I.P. Hold on, my computer's being slow, but I'm still looking it up. That is not what I typed in. Nope, that's not what I typed in.
Ooh, number 18 is going to counter what we said about 5 minutes ago, Gray. A little under 5 minutes ago. So let's get pumped up for the last one.
Hold on. Can you give me an approximate location of this forest?
Me? It's not giving an address or anything. I would probably just type in Mickey Mouse Forest. There's no way you can't search that.
Yeah, that's what I typed in, but it gives me some restaurant in the middle of Maryland.
Yeah, it's definitely not Maryland.
Yeah. I'll find it later. Anyway, we're back at a losing record. I have to get this one right to get at least 50%.
Are you scared?
Kinda. I want to have at least a tied record.
I think you should be scared, Gray. Especially because it's going to kind of counter what we just were so confident on about Magic Kingdom. Number 18, Gray. Are you ready? I can hear your heartbeat from here.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Epcot actually has its own tunnel under the park.
Secret tunnel. Where?
So let's see. It says, all right, we've talked a little bit about Magic Kingdom's utilidors, but Disney World's flagship park isn't the only one with tunnels and activities just below the surface. Or just below this. Oh, it's supposed to say surface, but they accidentally put service.
Come on.
Okay, so Disney it says Epcot has tunnels too. Okay, so it says this one is just about 700 feet long and is located partially under Spaceship Earth. It's used for deliveries to the stores and constructions in front of the area of the park. It's only 700 feet long, though.
That doesn't count.
It sounds like a concrete cave. Right? Yeah. Okay. That one's not really like... I hate the fact that I didn't really sound excited about any of these, especially the ones that I didn't know about. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, they're super cool, but like after working at Disney, I'm just kind of like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
now I
Like they
have a
just put so
losing
much effort into
record
anything.
thanks to Disney Food Blog, and I
Oh, my
don't
background
know
just
any
went
of
out.
these things. Okay, I'm sorry. That's really disappointing. I just want to let you know I'm currently searching for this Mickey Mouse forest, and Google told me it was just east of US 70. US
Okay.
70 is a long road.
Well, it's just east of it.
Yeah, it runs north. The road runs north to south.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even know about it. So I mean, very interesting. Is that the coolest one that you think that was on the list?
That's probably the coolest one.
You think so? Well, so what makes you think that that's the coolest one on the list? I'm kind of interested because it's just a forest of trees.
Because I think it's interesting. It's like perfect. And I want to know more about it. Did they draw it out before planting it? Did they just start planting and they're like, oh, now we cut around it to make the Mickey head? Like, well, what did they do here exactly?
Like, what was the whole point?
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah, true. I was about to say, I think the coolest one for me, I think I'm going to go ahead and say is probably either, I wouldn't say coolest with this one. I think one of the ones that surprised me the most was probably the Tower of Terror fake screams. I don't know why I find that just so baffling.
Nah, I knew that already.
I almost kind of feel dumb for thinking that they were real. But I mean, that one kind of threw me off just a little bit, I'll be honest. But I think the one that has some coolness factor is probably the ghost named George in Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's pretty
that
cool.
One is cool. I do feel like I've heard that one before.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it is pretty cool that they have to, or they don't have to, unless they want to have problems. But I think it's cool that they say good morning and good night. That way that the ride doesn't have problems. So I think that's very, very cool.
Crazy stuff. Well, if you know any more fun facts, hidden gems about Disney World, let us know. Send us a message on our Instagram page,
The Goofy Scoop,
at the Goofy Scoop. And let us know what your favorite hidden gems are, what you like to see at Disney World, fun facts that you like, and maybe we'll feature them on another show.
Absolutely. I think that was a pretty good list of 18. So I just want to say thank you to Disney Food Blog once again. They proved me wrong on a lot. I mean, precisely what, like 14 of them. I was only right on 4 of them.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous on my part.
You need to work harder.
Okay, yes, Dad. But yeah, so once again, I mean, that is episode 1 on season 2. We have a lot more in store for you guys. I'm glad to be back. Gray's glad to be back as well. He's been texting me. He's been on my butt the last month and a half now that I'm actually graduated from college. Thank you for being patient with me, Gray. I know that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But the last couple of months, I know you've been patient with me on all that and trying to hurry up and get my cap and gown on and off real quick. That way I can get back to season 2 and back with the Goofy Scoop. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the first episode back with us. Season 2, it's going to be exciting. Got a lot more for you. We're going to do 15 episodes a season. So we have 14 more exactly for you this season. So Gray, glad to be back. Glad to see you again, once again, buddy. And everybody else, you guys have a good one. I would say good night, but it is obviously still so bright outside because we have to record early for Gray to be on the radio.
Wait, it's so bright outside? That means it's time for another episode. Click to the next episode. Go now. Click the button.
All right, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time.